But yeah, man, listen, welcome.
Thank you.
First and foremost, let's do some introductions. Obviously, I know your name, but I don't know too much about you. I just know that you're a cool guy, you're a lit guy, your energy is always up there
Yeah.
from the times I met you. But yeah, man, who are you, bro?
My name is Yusuf, aka the Mauritian villain, PKA Shooter Yusuf. And I'm here, man. I've known Aladdin only since this year, but we've worked together. We've done bare shit. We've collided on paths, and yeah, man, we speak about goals all the time.
Yeah.
We speak about how we can level up, grow ourselves.
Are you on the journey of becoming the most famous Mauritius person? Is that
Yes.
what you're on? Tell me a bit more
That's the
about
goal,
that.
bro. You know what it is? It's like when I was small, yeah, when people ask you in school, like, where you from and stuff, nobody knew Mauritius, bro. And obviously back then we didn't have social media too tough, innit? But then you grow up and like traveling becomes a thing now. Everyone shows where they've gone on Instagram. And all of a sudden, bro, everyone knows about Mauritius. And it's happened so often where people that I meet for the first time, I'm the first Mauritian they know, bro. If you ask me where's the hotspot in London where you find them, I don't really know like that. Because like you got like family, friends and stuff. But like every community has like a hotspot where everyone's sort of, they all congregate. But Mauritius doesn't really have it. So I'm like, while that's a downfall because like you can't really find your people unless you go back home, that could also be like huge upside because the first one through the door in it. So yeah, it's about, it's not like mad patriotism, but it's like putting your country on the map. Every country should be known for something and someone or some people. And I feel like I can be that guy, bro.
Yeah. To the amount of knowledge that you have, what's the history of Mauritius? Like,
Mauritius was colonized by the English first. I thought it was Dutch first and then English and then French. But what it summarized to is now they speak Creole, which is like a derivative of French, like a pidgin French, like a very simplified version. It was like it got independence in like 63 or 68. And it's actually, a lot of people don't know this, it's one of the fastest growing economies in Africa.
Interesting.
Yeah, not the biggest, but one of the fastest growing. So like in terms of like investment and stuff, they're like a very trusted, reliable location. So like now it's shooting up. They even got like a metro like 2-3 years ago, which is like unheard of for most countries in Africa. So yeah, no man, they're doing well. And obviously tourism's just off the charts. Now that people travel more, people talk about it more. Everyone wants to go there. Every time they meet me and like they know where I'm from, they're like, oh, like I'd love to visit, or they tell me about the time they've already visited. And it's just cool, man. It's cool to see people embracing your country when you go from nobody even knowing where it is. You tell them where you're from, they're like, where's that? And you got to show them. So now everyone's like, yeah, I've heard of that. I'm thinking to go there. So yeah, man. What else can I tell you about Mauritius?
Do you go there? Like, do you?
Yeah. Recently we used to go like every 3-4 years, but then from like COVID, so we went 2019, then 21, 22. I didn't go 23. We've not gone 24. But yeah, we've gone quite often, man. And that's a blessing, A lot of people not had the chance to go back home.
Yeah, I've seen a lady, Mauritius lady, do a performance. It's like a dance, like a traditional dance.
Is it like on the beach?
No, it wasn't in the beach. No, it was in London. It was in like a kind of like a venue. It's like a theater kind of venue and stuff. But she performed like a traditional dance. It was really cool. Yeah, and she was like talking about just before she done the dance. She was saying how, because obviously it was colonized, so like how people would gather around the fire and the people that were kind of like within the slave trade and stuff, and they would kind of like sing songs and just like have the dances and stuff. So there was like a big cultural, spiritual kind of way to just go forward and overcome like the adversity that they were going through.
And that's the thing, like music for them, it was very big because like you said with like slavery and stuff, when you have a whole bunch of people just bunched up together, you create naturally, it's like to fill the boredom, fill the time, whether it's songs, it's dances, it's like something that brings people together. And yeah, man, I think slavery was abolished like just a couple years before independence. And so, and that's another thing with Mauritius, it's so like widely multicultural. It's one of like the very unique places on earth right now where like you'd see any type of person and they're Mauritian. So yeah, it's quite misunderstood. And we can get into this, because like when you think about the UK right now, we're like first-gen immigrants. Where are you from, sorry?
Lithuania.
Lithuania, yeah. So Lithuania, Algeria, Mauritius, right? We're like first-gen, so parents came here, yeah? So we don't know what the UK is going to look like in 300 years when maybe, you have kids with a Lithuanian and then your kid has children with like someone from Brazil or something. And that trickle-down effect, right? Mauritius right now is that what the UK would look like in 300 years. It's like what language, let's say you don't carry your language, right? Imagine English is the language we have here in the UK, right? But imagine all of us immigrants created our own language. So let's say you had like the Queen's English, then you had our English. That's what Mauritius is right now. You got all these different immigrants from parts of Africa, parts of India, even some Chinese, right? You got them all there, and white people as well, I think mainly French. You got them all there, and they've created their own society. So a whole bunch of immigrants have come and created their own thing. So it's like a unique melting pot of like, you don't know what's what in a sense.
Do you know what, since we're talking about it, one of the things that I've kind of noticed and I love a lot is the access to travel. And I think, like, when you think about it, like back in the day, I guess, like, we didn't really have like planes up until a certain point, and like the transport, just the means to like to get to another place, like the trains, everything else, like has improved so much. And like now there's a thing of like, cool, fair enough, there's still like certain restrictions, like people maybe can't go to a certain country, they have to get a visa or whatever. But even that's changing too. So eventually, like, the whole world is gonna like mix the way it's supposed to. And yeah, there's this thing of like, I think it's gonna sound stupid probably, but I think at some point in the future, everyone might be the same skin color if everyone ends up mixing.
I've seen like, I don't know if it's like memes or something, but like it shows how in a couple hundred years, because there's so much globalization and movement, everyone's just gonna sort of be this like light brown color. Because you're not gonna have a definite white or black. It's gonna be everyone's
gonna have like same levels of melanin and all that.
Which is mad when you think about it, because it's like, because then that contradicts, or maybe not contradicts, but you have like tribalism and people sticking to their own. Then you have like transport is better than ever, more accessible, affordable than ever. How does that connect?
Do you know what I realize about life here, which is really interesting? There's always like a left and a right. Like, say when you get in politics, left and right, like yin and yang. There's always like some people like, no, you can't date someone from a different race, and then someone's like, you should be dating people from a different race. And there's always such a like, they're always on such different ends of spectrum. It's like I never understood it. It's like, why is there such a big difference? And like, why is there like no middle ground? Or maybe there is middle ground, but like it's not as common. There's always like someone's either on one of the ends of the extreme or the other. It's always been fascinating.
Do you know what it is? I think the reason it's so extreme and there's not much of a middle ground is people like to stay in their own lived experience, as opposed to like trying to understand why that person does that thing the way they do. Why is that culture set up that way? It's more so judge first and then try and understand second. But if like, we can get into it, bro, like with photography as well. I'm sure you've experienced as well, lad. And like, when you're doing so many different types of like shoots and stuff with different cultures and different people, you become immersed into it. And like, you appreciate the beauty of like, the Indian wedding or the Nigerian party or the Jamaican funeral. And when you see different, like, first time I got asked to shoot a funeral, I was taken aback. I was like, funerals, like cameras there, like, I don't want to like intrude, right?
Can we touch on that a little bit more though? Like, what was your thinking process behind it?
Because to me, funerals have always been like the sort like somber, like everyone's just like,
but then, and the reason I'm asking this question, sorry, because like the first thing that came to my head is like, if I lost someone I loved, like I might want to document that, like just to be able to see it again. So it's like, sometimes it's always about perspective.
No, exactly. And that's the thing, like through photography, I learned that there's things that you may not even think about documenting, but someone else has. And there's a reason and a wisdom and a beauty behind that. So like I said, I was like taken aback, but then my friend reassured me. It was like his father, and he reassured me. He was like, nah, like it's what we do. It's cool. Like, you're not going to be looked at weird. You'll be welcomed in it. So I went, I done it. It was insane. It was incredible. I loved it. Like, so it's, first you go to the church, like they send their prayers and stuff like that. Then you go to cemetery, they bury it, and then you go to like a function basically, and they celebrate life. They don't mourn death. They celebrate life. And that just opened my eyes, bro. And I was thinking to myself, like, there's a lot of people who would just frown upon the idea of celebrating life, and they would never think past that, think beyond that. They would always just look down on people who do that, just judge, and go their own way. But I guess, yeah, if your job is the thing you do the most in life, right, it's like 70% of your time, and that thing opens you up to different perspectives, you have the unique advantage of, being open and understanding and getting to be in those experiences, man. It's beautiful, man. Honestly.
Yeah. Do you know what? Speaking of death and life, do you ever like stop and think about what this experience is, like the experience of life?
That's tough, man. You do, man. You do, because there's a lot happening all around you. You know, it's like people are always in their own direction.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise, and I think the noise for me personally, just I think it's quite distractive in terms of like kind of slowing down and understanding what is this and how we got here and all of that stuff. Yeah. Even if we can never answer it, but yeah.
Are you religious?
Nah, I wouldn't. Like I believe in God, but I'm not like, I don't like follow religion.
Okay.
And
because I think that contributes to like how you see, for the people that do believe in God, it contributes to like just how you perceive things and how you process.
Yeah. I love all religions, by the way, because I think for me, like one thing I realized is that all religions say the same thing.
Yeah, same general message.
Yeah, it's general, like it's just, you know, like love God, don't do wrong, and all of that stuff. And I think it's beautiful. Like, and to me, like, they're not like saying anything different. Like, none of them are saying anything different. I think it's just obviously there's a whole societal understanding of, you know, like, some people might judge one religion than the other, and then, you know, people going back to the left and right, there's a lot of like people that are just like, my religion's right, your religion's wrong. You know, like there's this whole thing around just on a side note to that, like for example, if all three of us in this room, I don't know, had an experience, and so this is just me saying where I think religion came from. If you all have an experience and then all three of us go write a book about the experience and just describe in a different way, we might all be talking about the same thing. We just describe it in a different way.
And, you know, it links back to the whole limited transport, limited communication, limited like movement. If someone, you know, like 200 years ago, someone in America or someone in Africa, someone in Southeast Asia, like you said, wrote the same experience, wrote their own book, they would all buy into that, and then at some point later down the line they might clash, but really and truly it was like somewhat similar.
No, definitely, man. But you get a feeling of importance?
Where do I get it? Impact, man. If you can impact people or things around you, it makes you feel a sense of importance, like you said, because you're helping to force change, or you're pushing change forward, you know. And yeah, I think that question has actually shaped a lot of my decisions in terms of work and what I spend most of my time doing, because that's important, bro. You know, if you feel like you're wasting your time away, it's not a life worth living.
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna say. Like, so on the flip side, so are you saying that if you didn't create an impact, you wouldn't feel important?
Yeah, in a sense, yeah, you could say that, man. Because it's, like at the end of the day, once your basic needs are covered, I think you start to look outward. You start to look at the people around you, the people you care about, and you say, how am I helping? Am I contributing? It's almost like a tribal thing. Like, am I helpful? Am I a net positive, or am I like leeching? Am I just pulling? Take, no give. I think we all have that in us as like social creatures.
Yeah.
You feel the need to keep up, as in like in a good sense, as in we're all contributing to like one big pot. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what me and Aladdin were talking about just before we started shooting the pod. We were talking about how there's this thing where like people kind of like, they climb this like social ladder of like just having a social status and just doing loads of different things and stuff like that. And for me personally at the moment, like I'm not sure how important that is in general in life. Because like really and truly, when it's all said and done, it's like, you know what Mike Tyson was saying. He's just like, like what legacy? Like what's what legacy? Where? Like, you know what? Actually, when I saw that and when I listened to that, like to me, like I could really resonate with it. Because really and truly, like when it's all said and done, and I pass away, or other people pass away, like people don't really care too much. It's like you might still remember someone that passed away.
Yeah.
Like I'm not talking about like, people that were close to us or like people that we love, but just in general, like any famous people, like you might mention them once in a while, but like what legacy? Like, you know, like it's kind of done.
True, but I think instead of thinking about when you're dead, I like to think about the last 4 or 5 years, where like you're not completely gone, but maybe that all that youthful energy, all the opportunities, all that promise you had is not there, and you say to yourself, what did I do when I did have that? Let's say, you know, you're 65 or something. You'd start looking at yourself like, you'd look at the youth and say like, how did I spend my youth? And I think if you didn't spend it in a way that somewhat makes you proud or makes you feel like you did something, you might start to like just wither away and just be like, what did I do? Because yeah, you can think about after death, yeah, you're in the ground, you know, you're gone. But I think people have the most regrets like just before that.
But I think that's where legacy comes from, fear of death, and I think that's because people want to live on, and people want to create something where they can live on through other people.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it comes from. Like legacy is just like, oh, I'm going to create this thing just so when I'm dead, like people can still remember me. So that's like, I guess like maybe a way of comforting themselves that after they pass away, they'll still be there somehow.
Yeah, I see that. And yeah, based on whatever someone's perspective is, that could be a waste of time or it could be very purposeful. You know, if you're here to serve God and to just help people, then you're not thinking, you know, I want them to remember my name as this and that. As long as you had your contribution, then yeah, man.
But speaking of fears, like what's your biggest fear in life?
Not seeing my potential, man.
You know what?
It's scary, bro.
I got a problem with that, you know.
Really?
No, with the word potential. I've got an issue with that.
Okay, go on.
So there's a lot of different like charities and organizations that say we help young people. It's like a thing now, we help young people realize the full potential. Okay, like loads of them got the same mission statement. But then, like, how do you know what someone's potential is?
Okay, I can speak personally, right? If you know you can do something or you can be good at something, but you're too scared to try, I think that eats away at you, man.
Just a question, yeah. Is potential something that's not realized yet? Or is potential, does potential does it still have to, do you have to see it for it to be a potential? Or is it something that people haven't seen it yet? Well, what do you mean by, Aladdin said levels, it doesn't have mic, but what do you mean by levels?
I think each potential is a different level, and the only one you can see is the next one.
So each potential is a different level, and the only other one you can see, yeah, it's the next one.
Once you achieve it, you can see the next one. Once you achieve that, you can see the next one, and you keep going.
Oh, so you're saying that once you get to the next level, a new potential opens up, so something new unlocks. So it's like it's something that you didn't think about until you gained that first thing. It's like getting a qualification. It's like, cool, I've just got a qualification, and I'm like, oh my God, I've got potential to do this different type of job or something. Jeez, come on, I got you, man.
Yeah.
Practical example.
But I've never really thought about that, you know. I don't know, I guess everyone has different levels of self-belief as well, you know. Like, if you're self-aware enough as well to notice and recognize what you're good at, then you start to see potential. But if you've been conditioned through, I don't know, upbringing, society, culture, to never look beyond the basic things that were put onto you to do, then maybe you do have no potential. But like, that's from your perspective. I believe I can see potential in other people, man. Like, if I see someone's good at something, but like, I can see the fear in them, where they don't even believe in themselves, and I believe in them more than they believe in themselves.
Also, that just I'll be the devil's advocate, but it is also possible to see limitations, because like whatever you think the potential is for that person, that might be a limitation, because the person might be capable for more than whatever you see, what you think the potential is. Yeah.
But then if they never look beyond the potential that I saw in them, then that can't be a bad thing. You know, they will realize if they had bigger potential than what I'm saying, they would realize that once they actualize what I said, and then they'll start to see beyond that. and actually believe it. It's all about belief, man. Like it's so scary that you see people who are actually good at things, yeah, and they just never try. I know too many people like that, man. Like, and I guess we're reaching that age where it's like you're almost at a crossroad where you either just stay on the path where maybe it's just been decided for you by your parents, by your family, by your community to just do that thing, that career path. Or you say, hold on a minute, it might get too late in the next 3-4 years to where I can't just drop everything and I've got no responsibilities and I can just go 100% at something. That's scary, man.
Yeah, but too late might be a societal construct. Because there's this thing like people do a lot of this, like people compare themselves to like where someone else is, at what point someone's getting married, at what point someone's got a particular job or income, and there's this thing of like within society there's like this kind of like pressure that people don't really talk about. It's mentioned sometimes but they don't really talk about it, but people are always putting themselves in a box based on what someone else is doing, rather than kind of like living out their own journey and just understanding what their own path is, because there's so many different ways of living life.
Yeah.
Just because you said about it's all about belief, you mentioned that not long ago. If I use the phrase belief template, what does that mean to you?
Say that again?
Belief template.
Belief template?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Belief template? I'm not too sure.
Jeez, you know what? We're going to have him walking out today saying, I didn't even think of that before.
Yeah. Belief template. A template of belief.
So if I said like every single person's got a belief template.
I would say that from what I'm perceiving it as, based on your upbringing, based on your parents, based on culture, society, school, teachers, mentors, you have a propensity to say, I could do something or I can't do that. Like it's a ratio of opportunity versus obstacle. That's what I think a belief template is.
So the question is, you know those beliefs that we talk about, so you said, they can be impacted by loads of different things. Is it the individual's beliefs or is it someone else's beliefs they take on?
I don't think an individual can have their own beliefs. We're all, you could not manipulate, that's like a negative connotation, but in some way, we're all negatively, no, we're all manipulated by something.
So you saying, this, correct me if I'm wrong, so I'm hearing that people are inspired, or their beliefs are inspired by something that's really existed for basically since the start of our kind.
Yeah.
And we just kind of like, then is it fair to say that we choose what beliefs we take on? Or is it just we kind of go autopilot sometimes, just load up like a...
I think it's a combination, man. Because, sometimes you would purposefully go and read on something. Or sometimes information just comes to you without you trying. But then that comes down to like your personality type and how much you're willing to seek out information, seek out different things, seek out different ways of thinking. Some people are content just knowing what they know right now and applying that to every decision they make. And then other people are like, how does that person do things differently? Why does that person always choose to do that thing? I want to learn how they think. And as soon as you can delve into psychology a bit more, then you get to understand yourself a bit better. And then you can ask yourself those types of questions like, are my beliefs my own beliefs? Or have they been put onto me? And the person that put it onto me, did they mean well? Did they not care about, did they not even consider my opinion? Because yeah, man, we're like sponges. We take everything from somewhere and then we output something different.
There's this one really good question, which is like, whose voice is that? When someone's explaining something or when someone's talking about particular things, like whose voice is that? And a lot of the times from my experience, people realize that it's not even their own voice, that it's come from somewhere else.
Wow.
Yeah, but also speaking of beliefs, is there something, if you recall, you might, because obviously it's on the spot anyways, we didn't script this, by the way, so it was not like the question was prepared beforehand, but was there like a belief that you changed recently about something? Do you have an experience of that happening?
Belief that I changed about something recently.
Something which like maybe was like even like a wow moment, like something that shifted for you.
Yeah, actually, definitely, bro.
I like the way you just lit up.
Yeah, shit. There is.
Yeah, woo!
You were like, oh, better say something.
No, I'm not like, I'm cool, man.
No, definitely, bro. Like, so now we start talking about it. So, you know how I started skipping? Basically, Lauren Jump, shout out to her, man. Like, she's like some skipper on like socials. She's got like millions of followers. She's sick, like mad combinations and stuff. Like more like a freestyler as opposed to like fitness. She's not like a boxer where like she's staying fit, but it's like tricks and doing all sorts with a rope in it. And I'm seeing her do that. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I want to do something similar to that. It's cool, innit? And the timing is crazy because like we had like a barbecue with my family friend, and the little kid, I see him skipping. He's like 10 years old. He's skipping really well. He's into boxing as well, right? But he's skipping really well. I'm like, damn, like, how long you been skipping? He's like, yeah, 3-4 months. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Like, and then he references that same person, Lauren Jumps, yeah. And I'm thinking, I've been seeing her all this time, thinking, let me just get a rope. I didn't even see how much a rope is. I'd not even looked at anything, right? But as soon as I see him skip, I'm like, right, it's just like that. He's been doing it for 4 months. So impressive, right? So I get myself a rope and I just start doing it. And I'm like, I'm going to document this journey, right? And it made me realize something, bro, about myself, yeah. That creating content is like, to me, one of the most fulfilling things that I can do, like expressing myself. And it suits my personality almost like to like. And the actual realization from that is when I was doing photography, and I still do it, it's work. I still get paid, right, from it. And I still do jobs. But like, there was something about photography that didn't completely align with my beliefs and personality. It fulfilled a lot of it, but there was a missing piece. And that missing piece to me was while I enjoy being behind the camera and meeting people, and it puts me in different places, and the camera acts as an icebreaker and I can talk to people like I'm a people's person, right? While the camera does that for me, it doesn't, or at least it didn't for me, it didn't allow me to express myself and show my personality and have an impact in front of the camera. You know, it's like I was thinking about this morning actually. I am still fond of seeing a creative concept and replicating that for myself, like in terms of a picture. So I've recreated Mbappe's Dior sponsorship. They did like a campaign, took a sick picture, and I was like, that looks cool, I want to do it. I've done that. I've done like a Peaky Blinders shoot. I've done like different stuff in it. But when I look at those, yeah, or when anyone looks at them, you don't get a representation of the character I have, the way I can talk to people, the way I can connect with people, the way I can make people feel seen, heard, understood. And I believe I have that. And through making videos, I've been able to do that. You know, it's not always like motivational. Sometimes it's entertainment. Sometimes it's a bit random, right? But I think that for me, bro, like making videos has been an insane, like...
Do you know what? Like from watching your reels, I would definitely say like it feels like you feel most alive in those videos. Yeah. Like it's just, yeah, I don't know if it's because you're outside or because you're just doing what you love. Yeah. It's just I get that energy of like you're feeling great, you're feeling alive.
Honestly, that's it. I feel alive, man. Because like it brings out the best in me. Because like I've known a few photographers who are quite introverted and like they use the camera as a means to express their creativity. And for me, it's like, while I understand that, I never entirely connected with the idea of like photography is a creative thing. For me, while I am creative, I'm not like overly analytical about how technical the picture is. Like, is this thing like to a millimeter? Is it perfect? I've never been like overly, dedicated to the details. For me, it's like, yeah, I'll care about the details and make sure it's okay. But for me, it's more of the social aspect. I'm good with people. I pride myself on, I don't want to be the photographer that, he's really good at what he does, but he might be a bit socially awkward. But we need him because he's good. I've been the guy that if in like a huge function, you're the only person that, let's say you're hiring me, right? You're the only person that knows me as a photographer. But in yourself, I can leave him in the room and he's gonna mingle. He'll be comfortable. I don't have to worry about him, ruining your reputation, doing something stupid, right? So I had that social aspect, but yeah, and photography, it was limiting because, like I said, while I had that social aspect going for me, I'm like, I also want to express myself in front of the camera. While a lot of the more introverted personality photographers never really cared about that.
Yeah, they're always behind the camera, innit?
Yeah,
That's they want to be hidden to some extent.
Right, so it's like I can have that conversation of like the detail and the beauty of the art and the creativity, but I can never have the conversation of like, how about like if you stepped in front of the camera, they were like, that's not really, I don't really care about that. I care about the devil and the details. But I'm like stuck somewhere in the middle. I do care about the creativity and the artistic sense of it, but I also want to express myself and put myself out there and have an impact, me personally. It's like a good picture that I take can have somewhat of an impact, but compare that to me talking on a video, sharing you some sort of perspective, sharing my energy, right? Maybe you see a reel and like it forces you to go and do something that you've been putting off. You wouldn't get that through a picture.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been huge for me, man. Just this idea of like, and I guess you could say I've always been afraid to do it, man. Like, mate, I thought to myself, bro, was photography a half-measured decision? Where, yes, it will allow me to live out the whole, social aspect and being around people, but am I just copping out and saying that's all I want? When
But that could have been like a very important step for you to get to where you are now.
Yeah.
Because that was like, that's initially your first time of understanding of the concept of even like being behind the camera. And then after that, thinking about, cool, I want to be in front of the camera now because I've been behind it.
Yeah.
So it's like, like in life, there's this thing of like, people don't know what happiness is without pain or, and so on. So I think that could have been a very important step. The thing I was going to ask you, so with the reels you're doing now, is that you're like on a challenge, it's like 60 reels, 60 days or something?
Yeah,
or?
So I started like September 13th or something. And I said to myself, I'm going to do this every day till the end of the year. Bear in mind, I've never posted on any level of consistency like that ever before. Ever. And so I just thought to myself, set yourself a challenge that's so big and scary and then attack it. And it's been going on, man.
Yeah.
And to me, it's not a thing of like the skipping challenge and how good of a skipper can I be. It's really not that. It's more of a personal challenge of like, how persistent and relentless can you be towards a goal?
It's about the process anyways.
Yeah.
The standard thing that people talk about all the time is the journey, right? Like, it's what you're learning from it, what you're gonna, and it's also what seed you're gonna plant for the future. Like that's to me, the way I see it, it's like, and again, look, I've been through like few of them. I went through maybe like 10 or 15 reels, but like I'm seeing like a start of something that's gonna, who knows what you're gonna do after that.
Right.
Yeah, but it feels like a start of a journey.
It is, bro. And it definitely is, because I've said this to Aladdin as well. I don't see myself as a skipper. I see myself as a content creator who's using skipping as a bridge.
But you're good at skipping though. Like I seen the
I'm improving, man. Like I've been learning and I've been getting better. But like I said, that I'm doing that as a means to say, how can I creatively express this in my way, in my unique way, and it's been working, man. Like, you see the energy. And there's some reels where I barely even skip because it's more just me in that. But yeah, man, there's a lot in there, bro. There's a lot happening there, man. Damn. Which ones did you see that sort of stuck out for you?
Now, one that stood out for me was where you put like two different moves together. There was like, I don't know what the move's called, but it's like you done like a side one. And yeah, that's the one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was today's one.
Yeah. What's that one called? Yusuf skip.
The Yusuf pass.
Oh, there you go. Yusuf pass.
Yeah, I'll copyright that.
Yusuf
don't
pass.
take my shit.
Yeah, putting two together. But just seeing how happy you were just after you made it, it's like it was dope.
But and that's the thing, bro. Like, I received a huge compliment about 3 weeks ago from my friend that I hadn't seen in a while, but we're close, right? We're in the gym and then he's like, yeah, I've been seeing your reels and stuff. And he said something that like truly impacted me. He said, as someone who knows you, when I watch your reels, I know that's you. I'm not seeing like somebody. I'm not thinking I know this guy in real life and he's different to what I see on. Like that's him. And to me, that was like, it's hitting. Like to me, that's the main thing, man. You know, you always think about them YouTubers or like content creators are like they're doing mad stuff. Yeah, they're being like inauthentic. And...
Do you know what's funny? Yeah, sorry to jump in. Yeah, but you know what's funny? You're because obviously like you got like really calm energy like on the podcast right now. But was it the second time I met you when we was doing a video with me? Or was that the second time? Was that the first? That wasn't the first. Yeah, when I was doing the boxing video.
No, I met you before that. I'm sure
yeah, I think we definitely met. Yeah, we met before that. I remember. Yeah,
because when briefly, I was helping you pack up. Yeah,
it was in Upton Park, innit? I think because you dropping them off to the pool. Where you like?
Oh, you came forward.
No, I saw him after the pool or whatever. But long story short, we met briefly that time, and then second time I met you properly when I was doing the video. Yeah, but just. It was so funny because this guy, he came through, I was meant to shoot a video, he took off his stop, and this guy just got mad. It was just going wild, just skipping, training. I was like, bro, this guy just, he came through like he drank like 10 Red Bulls or something. I was just like, this guy is crazy. Not in a bad way, but I was like, this guy is lit. He's just himself. And I think I love that about people. I love people that can just be authentic in themselves and not have to like be pretend like to be in any type of way and stuff.
It's the best thing, man. And man, I would say it's always like when you can be authentic in your videos and people see that, it inspires them to just be like, what am I holding back for? Like, you know? And you always have that fear of perception, what are people going to think of you? But at the end of the day, if this is how you are in real life, people are perceiving you anyway.
Yeah.
And man, bro, there's so much to say there, you know?
Yeah, I think where we get into is actually... it'd be interesting to see what happens with social media in the next 10 years because it's almost like a thing where if people are not creating something on social media, it's kind of like become like a CV now. If people are not creating it, like, you know, even like nowadays, people apply for certain opportunities and whatever, they're always asking like, what's your social handles and stuff like that. So it's becoming like a thing. And it's one of those things where like, what's that philosophy? If the tree fell in the woods, and it wasn't there to hear it, did it really fall? Is that how it goes? Yeah, basically, if you didn't take a picture, it's like if you went to the gym and you post on your social media, did you really go to the gym?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how we're kind of living. Because you know what, really and truly, I don't know, there could be a person in America, and obviously now that I'm saying it sounds real, like this person exists, right? There's a person in America who's, I don't know, like hunting right now. Yeah, they love hunting down there.
They do, man.
So
they got rifles.
Trust me, squeezed in a good one for that one. So like someone's like out there hunting, but if I don't see them on social media, to me it doesn't exist. Like it's not, but it's happening.
Yeah.
But then perception is such an interesting thing. It's like if it's not within something we get to experience within our senses, it's like it's not part of the reality to some extent. So it's like the senses are shaping the reality.
Yeah, and what's interesting, like, as social media has blown, it does help you to see more things. But at the same time, when you see more things on your phone, it actually makes you just hyperfixate on that. And then you don't consider what's happening elsewhere. So, man, that's impactful, bro.
Yeah, but I'm kind of tired of social media, though.
Really?
Yeah, I guess I'm on it. I use it to some extent. I was off Instagram for a while, not long ago. I came back to it, and I don't really use it that much, but it just kind of like feels like same stuff on repeat. Like your content was actually refreshing. Like I think coming across like genuine, authentic content is nice, but I think a lot of other stuff is just like, I don't know, just rinse
and repeat.
Yeah, it's just kind of same stuff. But yeah, seeing Mike Tyson and with what was that? It's grind guard and bum cheeks out. Yeah, that was refreshing. I'm just joking.
But you know what though? Like you speak about social media like getting repetitive or something, but I think there's a unique phenomenon that happens when you create content, especially like if you're being authentic, right? I was thinking about this and I deeped it, bro. Like it's a bit scary. Like, so obviously doing photography, you meet so many different people at different times. Yeah, they'll take your social media. So there'll be, let's say there's one person that I met at a party in September, and like we hit off at the party, like we're cool, like we're spudding, whatever, yeah. And we had a good time there, and we follow each other. And now I've probably not seen them since, yeah. So that's like person here, yeah? And you got a person on the other side you've known for like over 10 years, like a school friend, yeah? But let's say you just haven't seen each other because of circumstance, like life's happening, right? Both of these people, yeah, because of how social media is, you've forgotten the unique textures of their character that make them who they are. Like the way their face wrinkles, I don't know, like how they laugh and like what their type of banter is like. There's certain looks they'll give here and there, like just their body language cues, right? But with creating content, which I wish more people did, with creating content, you can perceive that person as they are, as a real person. I'm not looking at you as a profile picture or some random story that you posted. I'm looking at you as the person I know you to be. And that's like a part of fulfilling like the aspect of creating content for me, because now I know all the people that know me, they're watching me as the actual person I am. They're not looking at pictures of me and trying to perceive and trying to guess, is he like this, is he like that? You just see it right in front of you. And, you know, creating content doesn't have to be a thing of like, I'm trying to blow from this. It can just be like, you know, I want to do this thing and here's how it looks when I'm doing it.
Well, that's the title of a content creator, right? It's just someone that's just creating content, and people can create content all the time. 1 second, Costa. I don't know if you have a mic for Costa, but yeah. You can come sit here and say something as well if you want, because otherwise we won't catch you in it. But there's one thing I want to say about content real quick though. I've said this on a podcast ages ago, this in the early days and starting out. I've actually come to the conclusion that everyone's content, like just life in itself is content. Like if someone's a walking content, like you have a conversation, like if me and Costa have a conversation right now, even if it's not documented, it's still content. Like everything's like, it's like people are full of content all the time. That's the whole point. But yeah, what was you gonna say, Costa?
I think I can catch from where you said about us creating content and life being content. So it's like a digital footprint.
Yeah.
Right? So I think my thought now when we're talking about this is, does this have to do maybe with humans being afraid they're going to die and not leave something behind?
That they're
actually trying to leave something like a footprint, or look at me, I existed, you know, and something that is going to be there. You know, when you're going to go, it's still going to be there.
Yeah.
But now, back in the day, if you were not somebody famous, would it be there? In a movie, if you're not in a magazine.
Yeah.
You're just every life, you know, everyday person.
Yeah. Also, like I don't know if the audience were able to pick it up, but Costa was talking about like digital footprint, and it's kind of actually, so before you got here, we spoke about a little bit. We was talking about legacy, and it came from like the Mike Tyson thing, and we was actually saying similar things. Like we're saying how people are like scared of dying, and because they're scared to die, they kind of want to live on through either legacy or just, you know, the digital footprint or whatever.
Okay.
So do you think, because I mean, I watch these guys, you know, I listen to the music and stuff like that, and it's always like, oh, you know, he's so great when Rema drops an album, and then when Asake drops an album, there's like all this thing, oh, he's my guy, everybody's saying. So it's just like, it feels like they're not feeding off each other, but I think they're probably leading off in the sort of Afrobeats era at the moment. Not even Afrobeats, is it?
It is
might be a
Afrobeats,
little
but
bit of a different
Afrobeats has expanded.
Yeah.
To like accommodate different styles. Because it's more globalized now, I guess. But one thing interesting Rema said with his album, because like Afrobeats has become a bit diluted. He was like, he's trying to bring it back to like what it originally is. And I guess that's probably why it's maybe not as I don't know like the numbers on this, but it doesn't seem to be as popular as his last album, but it's sick though.
Well, do you know what? So I think just gonna tie this back into content, content creation actually, because I see this similar. Like I think creating music and creating content is kind of same for me, anyways. But so I think what's happening, like music has become like a fast food service. Yeah, because I think going back to accessibility, spoke about transport, but I think with music now, anyone can create music, essentially. So if anyone can create music, there's so many dope human beings in the planet where some people are really talented. There was this one Brazilian guy who was doing like a freestyle in an alley. He just like his song.
He walks.
He made that from a phone, and now he turned into a song. The song's blown. Like he's doing really well, all of that stuff. But basically, what I wanted to say around music is that obviously it's like a fast food thing, but also I think content creation is going to become that too, and it's becoming that already, to the point where like that's why people have such a short span. It's like there's so much great
attention
content.
span.
It's
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
you watch one thing, then you go, oh my God, there's the next one, and they're all great.
Yeah,
They're not
yeah.
like, it's not shit content. And there's things that algorithm will feed you what you want to see and
It
stuff.
knows what you want, man.
Yeah,
it knows
man.
what you want, man.
Yeah, so it's the world is changing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's changing to, but it's going to be interesting. Like, I always said this before. I would love to come back every 100 years just for one day, just to see how where we got to, what's happening. Yeah, it'd be really, really interesting to see, man.
But I'm glad you mentioned that of like music and content creation being quite similar, because I had a bit of an epiphany like a couple weeks ago with my content, right? Where it's gone to a point where, bro, like.
So correction, our content. It's my content too because I watch it. Yeah, come on, our content, bro. Because you're not making content for yourself. You're making content for us.
Our content.
Yeah, our content. Come
I love
on.
that, bro. But I had like made dinner in it. I'm sitting there, and you know, like the usual, you want to go on YouTube, find something like a 10 to 15 minute video to watch. 3 minutes is too short, but like 25 is a bit too long, isn't it? And everything on my like YouTube Explore page, I was like, do I really care? I can't be asked. And bro, something happened, yeah. I went on my Instagram and I just started binge watching my own stuff. And I was enjoying it. Enjoying it in the sense of like, if I was watching a YouTuber that I enjoy watching. So I kind of stepped out of myself and was watching my own content and enjoying it. And the reason I link that to music is like, there's been artists where they deviate from what they originally started with. So like Burna Boy's done it, where he's making a bit more American-centric music, and it's not so much Afrobeat. Weeknd's done it, where like he started out with like real pop, or he started out with like this deep dark R&B, then he went pop, and then he went like funk and stuff, right? And I remember when he did that, I was with like the first funk album, I think it was like Dawn FM or something. Yeah, I was listening to it, I'm like, man, what is this? But I had the perspective of like, this guy is probably loving his own music. He probably listens to his own stuff back and thinks it's hot.
And he creates what he wants to create.
He creates what he wants and he probably enjoys it. So it's like, who am I as a secondary consumer to be like, nah, go back and make the other type of music? Like, what if he just, he graduated from that? What if he just said like different phase of life, different experience, different journey, and now he's making something completely different? So yeah, man, it's important. Like, and I've said this to Aladdin as well. Like, the videos I make, as long as I enjoy them, yeah, then like, you know, you're on the right path, so to speak. Because as long as you can watch it back, bro, you know you've always got one fan. I can't imagine making something that I'm like, I hate this, but other people might like it. Because then I wouldn't even want to watch my own shit back.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like imagine being an artist and you're like, someone's playing your music. And not because you've heard it 100 times, you're saying turn off. You're saying turn off because you don't like it. That's scary, bro.
But there's also, on the flip side, there's loads of creators who don't watch their own stuff or who don't listen to their own music as well. Like, and it's not like, and I guess like it kind of goes back to preference. Like, I don't know, like some people are just, I don't know, just people are different.
No, like there's been like movie stars who say like, I don't want to watch my own movie back. But I think that's also got to do with like, it can be such a grueling process sometimes to make a movie. Like I know James Bond's like injured himself like 10 different times. He's been out for like 8-9 months off an injury filming a movie.
There was one, you lot watch Game of Thrones? Anyone watch Game of Thrones?
I'm not, nah.
Nah. I don't know the actor's name, but the guy that acts as Jon Snow, because Game of Thrones were filmed for like, I think they were filming for like 10 years or something.
Oh man.
Or whatever. So he ended up going to rehab. I don't even know for what. Like it was like drugs or whatever. I don't know. But basically, he was just like. So they kind of rushed this. They kind of ended the series quite fast. And also the other book wasn't written yet, so the directors had to like improvise whatever. But they kind of like cut the series short just because the cast said, you know what, like I'm done with this.
Yeah.
And when you actually think about some of these like series that go on for years, imagine being part of that cast and it's just like you can't just turn off when you want to. I guess like there's probably some, you know, they get some timeouts and stuff, but it's just like you sign this contract and you just like you gotta keep going, which is mad.
I think this happened with the Harry Potter guy as well. He just didn't want to hear about being, and I think this is interesting because it's different between actors and musicians, because actors have to be somebody they're not. The same way sometimes when they tell you, for example, about politics or promoting something, and you're like, how would I believe you? You're like an actor. That's your job.
Right.
So maybe they're seeing although they might be good at acting, they might see part of themselves where they're not.
Yeah.
And they have to see it again and again and again. And maybe they put themselves in method acting where some of them do, like the Robert De Niro's and stuff like that, where they become the taxi driver, they become the guy with the depression, they become the crazy guy.
Yeah, and they don't like to see themselves as that person.
Yeah, now they have to watch it again and again. Yeah. People say, "Oh, you're so great in that," And
they were like, "I hate myself." Yeah. But that's a very unique perspective. I didn't consider that. Yeah, and it goes back to authenticity, right? If you can watch yourself back and be like, I like this guy because I know that's who he really is, but you're actually talking about yourself, then you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like you said, if you're the actor who's been casted to play this, I don't know, maybe you're depressed or like you're like a genuine bad person, like you hurt people, you'd be like, I don't want to see myself as that.
Well, so Jim Carrey's speech to me, like I think he's done a speech at one point. Forget his speech. It's just what he says.
Yeah.
He mentioned that he said basically he's played so many characters in his lifetime where he realized he started even questioning himself as a person, like who's Jim Carrey, like he realized that that's a character too, and because you know what, it kind of leads to this like bigger philosophical question of like who are we, and that's a thing that's a question we've been trying to answer, like I guess a whole lifetime, from what I understand and what I know till this day. It's like if say who are you, like no one really knows who they are. Obviously you can say like a lot of people, I guess they always say like my age is this, my name is this. And the thing about my name is that they don't say I am name. They say my name, like it belongs to me. Like your name isn't who you are. It's just something that belongs to you.
Right.
Somebody else put on you, basically.
It was given to you. It's given to you, isn't
it? Yeah. But it's kind of like name is like an identity thing, but it's not who we are. Because I would separate who we are and identity are two different things. Because identity is a description of someone, like based on it might be traits or something else.
Yeah.
That's why police always identify people. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they identify you through your fingerprints, which is your actual identity, not your signature.
Yeah. But it's the fingerprint who we are. You know what I'm saying? And there's this philosophical question. It's like, who are you really? Like, who are we? Are we all connected? Are we all separate? Are we all...
Remember Ship of Theseus?
What? Ship of Theseus?
but I don't think that's the... I remember that, yeah.
Pull up Ship of Theseus, the thought experiment. Read it.
But I'm going to create some authentic content while we're shooting at the same time. Come on. Jeez.
I'm pretending to be a microphone.
You're pretending to be a microphone. Come on, my guy. Hey, you're looking very Greek today. No, I said that last time. I said it on purpose.
I'm gonna give you some to read.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
I was about to put myself down. I was about to say I'm bad at reading, but actually, it's not even putting myself down. Actually, I'm bad at reading, but I'll read it.
So
you sent it to me.
Leo was talking about you backing off your top and doing the content or whatever. I'm going to go to that. Do you watch Wallow?
Wallow? I know that name.
$1 million worth of game.
$1 million worth of game. I've heard that. Oh,
Wallow who runs to the camera,
Wallow and the other guy.
Yeah.
I've watched some of their stuff.
That kind of reminds me of this guy where he just sets the phone there and just starts shouting at the phone, doing push-ups in the rain and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. That's his energy. His energy is like that, you know.
It's just like
I watched the skipping video. The one I watched it from him. The one that you're talking about, you being the most famous Mauritian.
Oh yeah. Damn, I forgot. Yeah, people actually see when you share my stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. So
I forgot people actually see that.
Yeah, remember Aladdin's one of the first people that comes up on my stories.
Fair.
I mean, I hope it wasn't the case, but I'm joking. Come on, man.
No, yeah, but I liked having that energy, you know, because it's like just like that sort of. It doesn't really. You might as well just try.
Yeah.
Might as well do something, man.
But people also need to understand, and they need to like separate that. That's not you all the time as well.
Oh,
that's
of course
just
not.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like sometimes you know what it is, and that's the thing about online. Yeah, it's like people might look at someone for social media, but that's because that's one of the versions they get. They always think that the person's always like that, and then they meet people in real life and they go, actually, you're not even like that. It's like, are you surprised? It's always like it's yeah.
I think they want you to be that person. They identify it, so they make it part of their personality.
Yeah, because they've built you up as that in their mind. And but it's actually interesting because someone asked me this, right? They were like, you have different voices. Because like when I do an ASMR clip, right? I'm chilled out, I'm like this, and I'm talking like this. I'm just relaxed. I'm chilled out, right? And I'm literally just talking to the microphone by myself. But when I'm around people, it's like you project, you talk forward. When I'm in front of the camera and I'm giving the camera energy, it's not shouting, but like borderline, it's getting there. So it's like, I'm not being two different people. I'm just in a different environment.
But in a way, just like shouting at the camera, like, yo, guys, da, 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 da.
No,
like
because, like, I actually just think that I'm talking to a bunch of people, bro.
Yeah.
But that's. I mean, with the camera, right? You have to sort of project your voice. You have to be louder. So when you actually see the video, it looks like normal, doesn't it?
You have to put in the cameras like the audience, that there's 1,000 people watching you.
Yeah, man. And I don't know, I guess it feels like a performance almost, but like you're performing your authentic art. It's like a music artist who's written his music. He still has to perform the music, but it's him. He made that. Man, that makes me think,
But do you want me to read it?
Ignore the last paragraph.
Okay. This is going to be horrendous. Everyone ready, yeah? All right. The Ship of Theseus is a thought experiment in philosophy that explores identity and change. It begins with a ship owned by the legendary Greek hero, Theseus. Over time, you know what? This is someone else read this.
Do you want me to read it? I'll read
Do you want me to read this?
I'll read it.
Since it's Greek.
Yeah.
I know.
Someone read it. Just not the last paragraph.
First two, yeah? Okay, let's do this, yeah. Voiceover work, Aladdin. All right. The Ship of Theseus.
Is it Theseus? Sorry.
Theseus, yeah, it's not thesis.
So I went by what
Theseus.
Aladdin told me because Theseus is like shit, innit? So
Theseus, yeah? Theseus. No.
listen, before you lot judge me, yeah, Aladdin told me to say it like that, yeah. Nah, it's for real,
I
yeah.
thought he was talking
Before
about
people
feces,
start
bro.
like going,
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
before the one person that watches this goes in the comments and starts getting mad, yeah.
Theseus. I'll take any right, okay. The Ship of Theseus is a thought experiment in philosophy that explores identity and change. It begins with a ship owned by the legendary Greek hero Theseus. Over time, the ship undergoes repairs, with each part being replaced by a new one. Eventually, every single part of the ship is replaced. The philosophical question arises: is the ship still the same Ship of Theseus, even though none of its original components remain? The Ship of Theseus raises questions about personal identity, the nature of change, and whether something can retain its identity after undergoing significant transformation. One philosophical interpretation suggests that identity is based on continuity. If the ship maintains its original structure and function, it might still be considered the same, despite the materials changing. Another view argues that identity is tied to the specific components. So if those are replaced, it's no longer the original ship.
That's powerful, man.
That's good.
Aladdin, man, come on.
Aladdin and the Ship of Theseus.
The Ship of Theseus.
It's just a whole bunch of people.
The Ship of Theseus.
I didn't
Fuck
know,
it.
I
I'm already
know-
cancelled
I know
time
the-
ago. Anyways. I'm just gonna carry on being cancelled, Bev.
I know the mythology, but I didn't know it as a philosophical. All these myths have, a meaning behind them. But I didn't know as and I don't know if it's from then that they made these sort of questions, or if they used the myth after. If that makes sense.
Repeat the question.
No, I was gonna say it kind of goes back to the thing I was talking about. It's like who are we really? It's like, it's how we, yeah.
So it's
I can't answer that. It's like I can't
It's
answer
almost
that.
like saying
I don't know who I am.
plastic surgery. If you have like your nose replaced, your lips, whatever, then are you still the same person? Although you got
No,
different
but
bits?
it's but also like on a theoretical level, it's like how we perceive the world, right? We spoke about belief templates. So like what my beliefs are, like I can change the beliefs, right? My template of beliefs can change, but then does that mean I'm a different person at that point? And people do say I'm different, like I say, like not me, but people say if they learn something new or they change their behavior, they're someone different. But are they really? And it's like, are we Like, who carries his body?
The thing is what I find fascinating about the human existence is that we undergo mental and physical change a lot more frequent than we think. The cells in our body constantly die and change, and we get new cells, right? I can't remember what number it was, but after a certain amount of years, the cells in your body are not the same amount of cells you had, the same exact cells you had X amount of years ago.
Yeah.
It's a short time. It's like less than 10 years.
Yeah.
So you're literally a different person. Physically a different person. You're mentally a different person. So the question that arises is, what defines a person? In terms of my take on it is, a good friend of mine asked me a question. He said, is love unconditional? And I told him no. My love for you is under the condition that you're the person that I know you to be. If you temporarily step out of that person and have a moment of uncharacteristic behavior, aka anger or whatever, and you temporarily step out and you come back into the person that you are, that I know you as, then my love is unconditional in that sense. But my love is under the condition that you're still the same person that I know you to be. I have love for you. I love you conditionally, under the condition that you are Yusuf, the Yusuf that I know. But if you was to turn around and start being a dickhead and start doing, I don't know, war crimes and fucking, I don't know, start doing shit that I don't agree with, you're no longer the same person I know you to be. So my love for you can no longer exist. It's under the condition that you are who you are, that I know you to be.
Right.
That makes sense.
But am I allowed to undergo change? Right.
But what if he does that online and then he's the same person to you?
Ooh.
There's so many questions.
I've got some questions. Since we're getting philosophical now, this is my realm. So let's talk about you being the universe experience in itself. Yeah, yeah. Yusuf is like, what?
I didn't sign up for this.
And the question is like, what does it mean to view yourself as an expression of the universe?
I can't even make sense of that.
Man said, nah.
What does it mean for you to be yourself? Finish it?
No, so what does it mean to view yourself as an expression of the universe?
As an expression of the universe. I can't
So if we go based on we're all part of the same thing and we're all one and we're all connected, let's just assume universe is one. Actually, it's one. Universe does mean one verse, by the way. But like, if you was part of that expression of the universe,
that's big brain, you know, like, because now I'm thinking, how do I express myself in terms of?
But that's fine, isn't it? That's whether on beyond the surface.
Just thinking, innit? There is and I was reading it recently, and I read it over and over again. There's this Greek sort of term or by Aristotle and people before him called triada. So the almost like Trinity, but it doesn't have to do with the Holy Trinity. It's basically your body, your mind, and then there's your self of love, which is basically the that God particle, basically. We're talking about the universe particle that's within everybody, which is the one that's actually the same.
Yeah.
It's like we got. Imagine we had like a little thing where you turn on and turn off like a machine, like a part of you. It's the same as in everyone.
Yeah. So there's another way of looking at it, which is, what if you're parts of a God? What if God is experiencing life in different, and we're just parts of God experiencing life?
That's what they say in religions, isn't it? That you're basically, well, for example, in Christianity, that you're the image of God, and that's what it means. That you've got something godly within you. You know, a little piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never thought of things like that, you know.
There is this one thing I've heard recently, which is at one point, like, we get so advanced, we can create any type of human being, because, you know, like, you can genetically modify stuff and all of that stuff. We can create any type of human being, achieve anything within this world and all of that other stuff, and then humanity gets to meet God, and they say, hey, God, like, look how amazing we've become. We can create anything, do what you do. And then God goes, that's all great, but get your own soil.
Okay.
and that put things in perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. To answer the question to the level I can, what does it mean to be yourself, right? I think it comes down to like the stuff that you do, like when you're by yourself, like let's say like you just sing out loud or whatever, or like you laugh with a particular energy, is to just get comfortable doing that around people, regardless of like if they'll judge you or if they'll talk behind your back. And that's how I see it, man. It's such a, you could say, simplistic way to look at it, but that's how I see it, man. Like I said, I've said this in a video as well. Like people might send my videos to their friends and say stuff about it, but I'm fine with that, knowing that that's how I am in real life. So people are probably gonna say or think that about me anyway. So it's no different that they're doing it on social media now that I make videos. You know.
So let me ask you a question. Yeah, are you the universe?
I don't think so.
Okay, are you part of the universe?
No.
You're not part of the universe?
Nah, I think I'm a servant of God put on earth. Because when you say universe...
So let's say universe, that everything that's created around us, like, are you part of that? Because if you say you're not part of that, I'd be asking how are you sitting here right now?
Like a tiny...
Yeah, so are you part of the universe?
Yeah, but when I hear people say, like, are you part of the universe? I'm thinking, like, are you a matter of importance to, like...
No, but, okay, so if you're part of the universe, then would the universe be the universe without you if you don't make that part?
Yeah, it will still thrive and move forward without me.
So what? I disagree too, but I'm not gonna like debate on that too long. But what about what makes a tree? So is the leaf part of the tree, or is it the tree?
The tree is made up of whatever seed was grown and the roots that it has.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, so the leaf on the tree, is the leaf the tree, or is it part of the tree? Like, is it separate to the tree, or is it part of the tree? Does the leaf also make the tree? Would the tree still be the tree without a leaf?
Yeah, it would just be a leafless tree. So the leaf is an attribute of the tree. Just like if you were to lose your arm, you'd still be a human.
Maybe a tree is a summary of things, whereas a leaf is just a part. But it wouldn't be without all its parts. A tree, and then the leaf wouldn't be a leaf without the tree.
Because my thing is this, yeah. Even if the leaf falls off the tree, was that leaf still part of the tree?
Yeah, it was.
And then also, can that leaf potentially create another tree?
Oh.
So there's this thing of like, I think we're living in a day of age where everyone sees themselves as an individual. They're not seeing the connection that already exists or existed, because there's so many distractions and so many other things that will take us away from that.
Would you connect that to not being community oriented enough? No,
I'll connect that to the disease of intelligence.
Okay.
So, which is how does this is a great question, by the way. One of my favorite questions that I've come up with. How does your thinking hinder your existence?
That's a good one.
We're basically too intelligent for our own good.
Yeah, I think everything's intelligence based, but like intelligence doesn't like answer everything, right? It just gives us more information about something really new. It's like if you walk down the street and you see this flower, you go, oh, that's a nice flower. And a scientist will come along and say, yeah, if you cut this flower this way, then these molecules are there. And But like, we already know this shit anyways. Like, it's just, it's nothing new. Like, they're not telling us anything new.
How does how does the way you think hinder your existence?
But that's why there's also, so I've had a really good conversation with my friend Aaron. And then we're talking about like how people try to get to the state of unconsciousness, or like to the state of bliss, you know, like just not thinking. And people do it in loads of different ways. So some people meditate, which is a sustainable way. Some people go out, party, drink. So sleep is one of them. But basically, it's almost like every single human being is trying to get to the state of not using the mind because you know everyone always talks about overthinking, right? It's almost
Right.
like a disease. I'm overthinking, and because they're in their head so much, they get to like they forget to how to experience life and
Yeah.
just live
Yeah,
in
yeah,
itself. Because
yeah.
like by default, if you just live, it's just like you're experiencing life.
Yeah, yeah.
But the experience is so disrupted by all of this thinking and all these stories that people are creating about the day-to-day life constantly, all the time.
I think I got an example for what you said about our intelligence hindering our existence. So, and obviously we can talk about AI and whatever, whether it's useful or not, or whether it isn't something that's we call it technology and supposed to help in certain things, but whether we need it or not is different. But I think this also starts from there's this guy called Jack Kruger, and he talks about all the stuff like the sunrise, the sunsets, all that, how it affects the human body, the temperatures. So basically, what we were saying, because we're talking about technology, when we discovered fire, for example, there used to be the Neanderthal, and I think there was the Homo erectus as well. So the two different species, and the Neanderthal were the ones that found the fire, which meant that they were in the caves or whatever, but they were able to stay longer awake than they should have, because of the sunlight and the when it's sunset and sunset, sorry, and when the sun's coming-
sunrise.
Yeah,
sunrise.
sunset.
There we go. So basically, what you were saying was, yes, they found out how to stay longer, up, but when they checked their skulls and their brains, the ones that found the fire had the smaller brain because it couldn't develop because they wouldn't sleep enough.
That's
Yes,
mad.
they discovered fire, but
Yeah.
and it's the same thing of like, yes, you discovered the shoes, but there's so many things that makes your foot lazy. And obviously, you have to survive here because now we've made the roads how they are. We're not able to walk barefoot anymore,
yeah.
right? You're gonna step on some glass or something, but in reality, it's still the human experience and how you're supposed to your body to move. It's hindering that. It doesn't bend as much as it does or come into contact with the earth or whatever that
Yeah.
is. So we are hindering, we are giving parts of ourselves to get something back. But is that good? Is that benefiting us?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
important, man. When you think about how advancements can have an adverse side effect that you didn't consider, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of stuff like that. To go back to what you said about like overthinking and not being present, where do you think that comes from?
Intelligence.
Just intelligence. But how about
Noise?
noise?
But I'm looking at something. I'm going to share something in a
Okay.
sec. Yeah. Now I think it comes from like social media, the typical stuff, innit? Entertainment, noise, just like loads of noise, innit? Just there's always something at work, like things people do that then they might not be passionate about, and the construct of society, how we have to make a living and stuff like that. The conditions, comes from the conditions. Because if you go out and live in the nature for like the next like 8 weeks, and you have no TV, no nothing, like you gonna experience life completely differently.
Yeah, man.
And that's a fact. So like that just highlights that itself, shows you how our day to day is structured, where a lot of that stuff comes from.
I wanted to do that, On a side note, I've actually wanted to do that. Just be like, how to answer the question, like, how would you be if you were left to just be bored? Like there's a train ride that goes from like Europe, like somewhere in the middle, or like even west of Europe, all the way to Russia. You could take a few trains, and it'll take you like maybe like a week or so, and you go all the way, right? So imagine like the scenery you're going through, like mountains, nice ranges, and like nature and stuff, right? Let's say you had no tech, you just had to look out the window. Where does your mind go for that whole time? Or let's say you're camping, no technology. You got like the basic necessity to survive, but no tech. Where does your brain go? Does it overthink, or does it actually just still?
Yeah, I need to be out in nature more. That's what I'm thinking about.
For sure, man.
Well, basically, you need to go back home. Because nature is home.
Wow, what are you trying to say, bro? What,
What Nigel Farage over here, mate?
Hey, what are you trying to say, bruv? What are you trying to say?
Go back to your country.
Yeah, go back to your country.
Yeah, that didn't land
All
right,
you
did it?
illegal immigrants. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, me too, man. Actually, I'm actually legal, but it's alright.
I am an expat.
Yeah.
Sure, mate.
Do you know what I realized? I realized that you know, like in the slavery times, the colonial times, yeah, it was only West Europe that was responsible for that. Eastern Europeans had nothing to do with any of that.
Yeah.
We're just minding our own business, bruv. You get me? But yeah, so this is the last thing I want to share, and then we'll close it because Aladdin's tapping on. I saw him tapping on the watch. Trust me, he thinks I didn't see that. You get me? No, I'm joking, bro. I'm joking. Relax, bro. Relax. I love you, man. Alright, did you lot know, yeah, that it takes there's something called 26,000 year cycle? Do you lot know about that? 26,000 year cycle is the time it takes for Earth's axis to complete a circular wobble called axial precession. Yeah, so obviously, so they say that the globe spins this way, yeah, but it actually takes 26 years for it to go like this as well, all the way around. 26,000 years, sorry. Yeah, but it takes 26,000 years. But just think about how long 26,000 years are. But based on that answers a lot of different questions around, you know, they're saying that they're discovering things under Antarctica. There's like lost civilizations and stuff. So places that were hot before would be cold then. And it's just like the whole, and like if you actually think about like how the seasons changed recently, like partly like summer goes on for a bit longer or whatever, like this is different. It's not how it used to be. Obviously they say it's global warming and this, that, whatever.
Yeah.
But this would actually answer a lot of different questions around civilization, like lost civilizations and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. You ever
Like
think
people
of
just
that?
die out.
Yeah, just like dying out species
Yeah.
and shit, man.
But it's a thing. Also, there's another one. How far from the sun do we move away yearly? Did you lot know that we move away from the sun?
I did not know that.
But it's super small amount. 2.36 inches per year. So 6 centimeters per year. So it takes forever to like move away from it really far, but we're moving away still.
How long will this room take?
Come on, jeez.
What you say?
Sorry, can we, Costa, I was going to ask, can we give you the mic to close the last questions or not? Because you're professional at that. Come on, we've got a pro. Now hold it by the, yeah. Jeez, you ain't done it in a while, yeah?
Close off question. We asked this to every single guest, all 101, now 102 guests. You have one opportunity to say one thing.
No, bro, 2 questions, bro. You forgot. That's how I know you ain't done it for a while. What would you like to recommend, like, promote? What would you like to promote?
Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry.
And that was you, even you
Damn,
revamped it, bro.
You're losing it.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. Yeah, so
It's been a while.
promotions, man. Promotion.
Promotion, man.
Yeah, it works. You do 2 different types of promotion. The first thing I want you to promote to the people then is something that has no correlation to you whatsoever, no connection to you whatsoever. Could be a book, could be a movie, could be a person, could be anything that's nothing to do with you but you truly love and you want to share to the world. Second thing is something that has direct relation to you. Something that you created, something that directly impacts you. Could be a reels, could be whatever. Those are the 2 kind of things I want you to cover in your promotions, please.
Ooh. Say the first one. The first.
So anything that has nothing to do with you, that you don't get, no, as in you don't get no benefit from, has no connection to you, you just experienced it, or you just want to share it to the world.
Oh,
Some people do books, some
man.
people do movies, they do that. People that they're inspired by. That's kind of what's been done before. You can choose how you want to do this one.
Books, movies, people.
Or anything. Just example.
I'm stumped, man.
Wow.
Then you can start with the other one. Something that's directly.
Bro, you can even say Marvel movie or something. I don't know, like, it can be anything.
You know what movie actually really inspired me? And it's a bit of like a... People shit on these movies, but I loved Fast and Furious, man.
Oh yeah, 100%.
People-
They want to do Carfu.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Fast in your seatbelts is crazy.
Fast and Furious. Yeah, man.
Fasten.
I love Fast and Furious. Like, should I go into why?
Please.
Yeah, like I love the sense of like community. They work as a team, family, right? It's like having each other's back, like pulling off the impossible. It's sick. It's
like
sick.
going to the moon and that.
Yeah, man, drifting on the moon.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Yeah, after, you know what it is? I think after number 7 or something, I was just like, yeah, I'm out.
No, that's
I can't remember which one.
Man.
But one of them, yeah, when it started becoming like crazy and realistic, I was like, yeah, I'm out
Well,
still.
it became crazy unrealistic in like maybe 3 or 4.
Nah.
No, I
Tokyo
don't hate
Drift
Aladdin.
was
Don't
very
hate
unrealistic,
Aladdin.
Nah,
Don't
Tokyo
hate.
Drift was, I think that's the last one I finished with. You know what? That Chinese guy, man, I love the fact he came back to life.
Han,
Like,
innit?
yeah.
I say he came back to life.
Yeah, because he died, didn't it? The car flipped, bruv.
He escaped before. He knew it was.
I know, but I'm saying in that movie, he died, bruv.
He died.
He
He died, fam. Come on, bro. He
Yeah,
died. dead.
watch Fast and Furious, man. Yeah, get a sense of family. Have someone's back. Someone have your back.
Carry a safe through the city and just kill people with it.
Yeah.
Is that not what it is?
Do you know what? The one thing that Aladdin has. Listen, there's one thing Aladdin hasn't changed in since we started this podcast. He's always been about some kind of genocide and killing people. I swear to God. There's bare different episodes where he's always talking about Hitler and.
Oh yeah, Free Palestine,
this.
of course, man.
Yeah,
Damn,
Free
man.
Palestine, man.
Come on, man.
Very damn
Yeah,
right.
that's the one that's out. But I care about that, so that kind of impacts me, doesn't it?
No, so I'm saying like
Free Palestine.
freedom anyway. And yes, that's something that you create, something you want to share to the world. That's from you.
Something that I've created that I want to share. Watch my reels, but more importantly than watch my reels is there's a message in there. There's a message to be yourself, to try your hardest, whatever seems brave or scary to do or difficult, go do it. If there's something that you can take an easy way out or you do it the difficult way, do it the difficult way. It's more rewarding. Try play less video games, compete in the real world. Dating apps, don't use that. Go speak to people in real life. I feel like I'm atting you. I'm sorry. No, but like...
That's crazy in direct.
No,
Actually, not even in direct, it's proper direct.
Yeah, I'm right here as well. Like the camera's there, I'm here. Catching strays, what's going on?
Yeah, try to spend less time on your phone. Spend more time with people. And don't suppress your emotions. Feel your emotions. High and low.
What's the Instagram people that want to check out the reels?
The Mauritian villain will be up on the screen.
Aladdin's looking like. Aladdin's like, I don't know if I'm gonna.
That's literally one tiny animation to do. Yeah.
It came up at the beginning.
No, actually, it came up at the beginning. Yeah, so people
It's
can go
copy and paste.
rewind
It
to
came
the
at the beginning,
start.
it's not
Copy that.
Yeah.
Because you've been at you told.
Yeah.
Be more present. Like compete. Find something difficult. Find something that requires bravery. Something that requires courage, and do it.
Yeah,
you
Robert
feel
Bank.
alive, man.
Robert Bank.
Yeah, man. Do it, bro. At least you have a story to tell.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
what's in the present?
It's all. That's a real one. That's actually a real. It's all about the story. Do shit where you can tell a story.
Yeah, Rob Barkley, isn't it? Because they
You
support.
made a video about this. He said.
I did.
I
did.
Let me see if I can quote. He said, "When you have kids, do you want to tell a story that you experienced or a story that someone else experienced?"
Do you want your story to be boring, or do you want to be telling someone else's story, or do you want to tell your own? It's all up to you. Got to make your stories interesting, man. It's all about storytelling. So that's takeaway from me, man. Follow my reels. That's my story. So as well as being part of mine, make your own story and go do something extraordinary, man.
That's lit.
Yeah.
And one last?
Last question, yeah.
Yeah.
Final question. Am I doing it?
Yeah.
I believe the world population has grown since we last did this.
What is that? 8 points? Whatever.
So the world population is around 8.1.
No, I can't lie. The way the world's been recently, I don't know if it's grown, you know.
So you have one opportunity to say one thing to 8.1 billion people. What would that one thing be?
Do something brave, man.
Bro, 8.025.
Oh, it's gone down.
Close. It used to be 7.8 when we started.
Nah, it's still up, but
Oh.
just yeah.
I thought, but down from 8.1 though.
No, you know. I don't think it was ever 8.1. That's my guess. But it used to be 7.8.
I know what, so it's 8.188. Yeah, the one was for 2023, yeah.
So what was the message? Be brave.
Respect yourself and do something brave. That's the message. Yeah, man.
Cheese. Yes.